Hi, we are going to discuss about the standard template library in this video. That is standard template library. It was introduced by Alexander Stefano and Meng Li. It is used in a C++ programming for generic programming. It has some templatized classes and functions. These classes are used for manipulating with the data, storing and processing of the data in an easier way. The collection of such generic classes and functions are called as the standard template library. Next we will see about the components of HTL. It has three things. These three: container, algorithm and iterator can be called as a component of HTL. Container is an object that stores the data. The way how the data is organized in the memory, it is a container, and these HTL containers are implemented by the template classes to hold the different types of data. The next component of HTL is algorithm. Algorithm is used to process the data contained in the container. Very different algorithms are there to provide the task of initializing, searching, popping, that is removing the data, sorting, arranging the elements in order, merging, that is combining this different set of data, and copying one set to another set. For everything there are some procedures. They are implemented by the template function. Here, because of this template function, if we write an algorithm for any type of data, it will work. So that is the main use of this template functions. If a function is written for one type of data, it can also handle the another type of data. So the function will be common, so it can process for different types of data. That is the template function. The next component of HTL is iterator. It is an object like a pointer that points to an element in the container. We can use these iterators to move through the container. The data is contained in the container. To move from one data to another data to make a process, we can use this as a pointer. We can increment or decrement. We know about the pointers, so it must work like a pointer to the data contained in that container. Different types of containers are sequence containers, associative containers, and derived container. Sequence containers or here the elements. The container is the data, how the data is organized in the memory. The data may be organized in a linear sequence. So that is a sequence container. Different sequence containers are vector, list, and DQ. Vector is a dynamic array. Already we know about a array in a C and C++. This is a dynamic array. That is, the size of an array is a set of elements of a same data type stored in a sequence of memory location. That is an array. But here it is dynamic array. That is, the size of an array may vary. We can add any number of elements into that array, or we can remove. So the size of an array changes. That is dynamic array. Here the insertion and deletion at the back and permits direct access to any element. This is a vector. And the next category is the list. It is a bidirectional linear list. Here the insertion and deletion can be done anywhere. In a vector, the deletion and insertion takes place at the back. DQ, it is a double-ended queue. Here the insertion and deletion at both ends. At front and at the back, we can make the insertion and deletion. It is like a double-ended queue. Next component of HTL is next container is associative container. Here this container is designed in a way to support the direct access to the elements using a key. So every element will have a key. Using that particular key, we can make an access to the element. So there are 4 different types of associative container: set, multi-set, map, and multi-map. Here no duplicate set of values. Duplicate value, a copy of the same data, is not permitted here in case of a set. So it is this type of a container is used to store the unique set of values. that is different set of different values. For example, the register number for more than one student will not have the same register number. In such a case, we can make use of this type of container. The next one is a multi-sets. Here, the duplicates are allowed. For example, name. More than one student can have the same name. In such a case, we can use the multi-set. The next associative container is a map. It is an associate container for storing unique key. Here, every key will have is associated with one value. And the next category is the multi-map. This is for storing key value pairs. One key may be associated with more than one value. One key can be associated with more than one value, that is multi-map. We can search for a desired student using his name as a key. So here the main difference between the map and multi-map is map allows only one key for given value. Multi-map permits multiple key for a particular for a set of data. The next container is a derived container. This STL provides three derived containers: stack, queue, and a priority queue. We can also call this as a container adapter. And stack, we already know about the stack. It is a LIFO last in first out list, and a queue is a first in first out list. The next component of STL is algorithm. Algorithm here, it performs some activity. For example, in a given set of data, we can search for a particular element, or either we can arrange in a ascending order, or the set of elements can be arranged in a descending order. We can, for example, normally we prefer for the binary search. There we'll be using the bound, lower bound values and upper bound values. We divide into two. A set of data can be divided into two, and using a key will be searching whether the element to be searched is in the first set or in the next set, in which part of which set of the element, the particular data will be there. That concept is the binary search here. And in addition to that, we can also make a heap, arrange element, and also we can perform the union, intersection, and difference. Some set of elements can be merged using this union operation, or some common elements in a two or more sets can be find out, and the difference among the set of sorted ranges can be performed using these algorithms provided. And the last component is a iterator. There are different types of iterators available in this category: input iterator, output iterator, forward iterator, bidirectional iterator, and random access iterator. So this input iterator is used to only to read a sequence of values. Output iterator is used to write a sequence of values, and forward iterator is we can read, then write into and move forward. And the next category is a bidirectional iterator. It is like the previous one, but it can also move backward. Both forward and backward can be moved. The position to that from particular place, we can move to any forward or in a backward direction. We can read the data, and also we can write into the particular position using this iterator. And the next one is the random access iterator. Here we can move to any number of steps in one operation. In one move, we can directly skip a few elements, and then we can move forward or backward. So this is a random access iterator. Thank you.